recording? Okay. Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a very good day. For today's video, I want to talk about comic books and the different kinds of comic books that we read because I started getting into comic books and maybe you guys want to get into comic books, but going into the comic book store, you don't know what to expect, what to see, what kind of comic books there are out there, and so I thought I would give you an intro to the different kinds of comic books you will see at the comic book store. And of course, I am no expert, so for those comic book veterans out there that know more than me and want to clarify other things or want to add to what I have to say, definitely do so in the comments below. Yes, I'm a total noob, but I'm hoping to learn more and just read all the comic books. It's really exciting. I'm very familiar, of course, with manga. I've been reading manga for a very long time, but it was only in the past year or so where I got into graphic novels, then I got into the trade paperbacks, then the single issues, of course, just recently. And so let's talk about the different terminology and hopefully this will be helpful. So first of all, guys, let's talk about the single issues, which I have right here. I have Miss Marvel, which I've read and hope to do a review of it soon. So I have Miss Marvel, obviously published by Marvel, and I have Deadly Class over here, which is published by Image Comics. Single issue comics are usually published every month. The price range for single issue comics for Miss Marvel and Deadly Class, the cover price ranges from $3 or I guess $2.99. The Deadly Class ones are $3.50 a pop, so those aren't too bad. Like I said in a previous video, depending on how many titles you're following, it can add up, but so far I don't have that problem yet. But soon enough, I'll get there. Also of note, when I was reading Miss Marvel, there's a lot of ads. I don't know if it's for all Marvel comics, but for Miss Marvel in particular, I've come across like 5 ads throughout the entire issue, and I don't like it. I don't like it. It breaks up the story. Some of the ads are not very nice to look at. Obviously, they're used to make money, and I get that they're trying to advertise, you know, other in-house products that they have for sure, but from a reader standpoint, it just breaks up the story, and as a graphic designer, I'm distracted by some of the ugly fonts, frankly. However, in the Deadly Class comics, they are $3.50 a pop, and they are slightly more expensive because they don't have the ugly ads. They do not. For the most part, I haven't come across any ads kind of breaking up the story, so that's really nice. I really like that. And at the end, usually there is some extra bonus stuff, behind the scenes drawings or sketches, and usually there are letters from the readers that people would comment on what happened in the last issue or what they thought of the comic as well. Some of those pages are not designed very well either. I don't like it. So stop justifying the body copy, people. You can't see it, but it's really ugly. So I'm assuming the higher the price for the comic, hopefully there are less ads throughout the single issue. Also, when you go to the comic book store, when you pick up single issues, at least in my experience and at the comic book store I go to, they ask me if I want bags and boards with my single issue comics. And when they first asked me that, I said, what? Because I didn't know what they were talking about, and then when they took out the bags and the boards, I was thinking, oh, bags and boards. So these are the bags and these are the cardboards that are inserted with each of my single issue comics to help them look pretty and stay pretty. So when you purchase single issue comics, of course, you can request to have them bagged and boarded up. One of my viewers, Jocelyn, she also mentioned that you may want to ask if there are any additional fees to having them bagged and boarded. At the comic book store I went to, there wasn't an additional fee, which is very nice. I like that. So just to throw it out there, definitely ask if there's an extra charge, and if not, woohoo! And what I love about the single issues are the different covers for each issue every month. They look so good, and there's something inside of me. I'm starting to get that collector's mentality where I want the first printing of each issue. I've seen second and third printing of other covers and they look really good. It's just, it's not the first printing. I don't know. So those are the single issue comics. Next, guys, let's talk about the trade paperbacks. So these are the Lock and Key trade paperbacks. Right here we have volumes 1 to 4, and of course I have the Saga trade paperbacks, and these are volumes 1 to 3. Trade paperbacks are single issue comics collected and published as one book. What's nice about trade paperbacks is obviously there are no ads strewn throughout the story, so that's really nice. Also, some trade paperbacks, there's some extra behind the scenes sketches and features at the end, which is also really cool to check out. So you could see single issue comic books as chapters and the trade paperbacks as the book, and so the trade paperback is collecting all of these chapters together in one nice package. And it's nice because you don't have to wait every month for each chapter to come out. Could you imagine if regular books were published like that? It would be insane. It's kind of like marathoning on Netflix. Also, what I love about comic books, any kind of comic books, is the rereadability factor is high. It's super high. Once you finish reading a comic book, you can read it again and again and again, like whenever you want, and I absolutely love that about reading comic books. It's so good. And obviously trade paperbacks are more expensive than single issue comics. For some reason, the cover price on this first volume is 10 bucks, and the cover price on volume 2 and 3 of Saga is 15 bucks. And the cover price for the Lock and Key is $20. This is the soft cover trade paperbacks, and I also have a hardcover of the last volume of Lock and Key, so I'm assuming that is a little bit more expensive than the soft cover ones. And so I have a question for more experienced comic book readers out there. What is this? It's bound and the same size as a trade paperback, but within, it looks like there's 4 different short stories going on, and obviously each story is illustrated by a different artist. So if there's another specific term for these comic books, I would love to know. So next, guys, let's talk about graphic novels. Graphic novels are different from, of course, single issue comics and trade paperbacks. Some examples of graphic novels that I've read and enjoyed include Watchmen and V for Vendetta. Mouse is a graphic novel as well. Graphic novels are obviously much longer, and the story or a large chunk of it is published in a single release. So I see graphic novels, obviously novels in graphic form, much longer. Usually these stories are really complex and in-depth. And lastly, guys, I have to introduce you to the manga. You probably know about them. There are Japanese comic books. Depending on the series you're following, there's a lot of volumes for each series. It's crazy. This is Ouran High School Host Club. This is Death Note, and this is, of course, Sailor Moon. I want the box set. And manga is read from right to left. I definitely prefer reading shoujo manga over watching it. As far as shonen manga, I definitely prefer watching shonen as an anime than reading the manga. But Attack on Titan, guys, I have to read the manga now because there's no more season 2. Why? So I definitely have to follow the manga at some point, but it looks so much cooler if it was animated. Am I right? It's so much cooler seeing action animated. It's so good. And I love reading the shoujo manga because all the sparklies and the flowers and the faces. I love how shoujo manga is drawn. It's super cute and lovely and beautiful. Anyways, guys, those are the different type of comic books. I haven't even gotten into comic strips or web comics. What other type of comics are there, guys? Let me know in the comments below. Hopefully this is informative. Hopefully when you go to the comic book store for the first time, it's always awesome. I love my comic book store, and the people who work there are super nice and helpful. Hopefully when you start browsing, what's fun about going to the comic book store also is browsing all the titles and just looking at the covers and seeing what catches your eye. I think the artwork, first of all, is the eye catcher. You know, you have the covers of books. Obviously it's the artwork on all these different issues and all these trade paperbacks is like, what? Anyways, guys, that is everything. I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know in the comments below if you want to add to what I said here today, if you want to clarify things. You know, call me out if I got something completely wrong. I'm all ears, and I would love to learn more. Anyways, guys, I will talk to you later, and have a very good one. Bye.